cells from the cork part of a bark part of a tree.
Yes,
Then
ma'am.
Antony, when Leeuwenhoek came,
Ma'am,
then
he
he gave.
discovered the first living cell from pond bottle.
Correct, correct. Then after that, Purkinje, he
Ma'am, protoplasm, and he
basic
found out that
protoplasm,
cytoplasm plus
and
and he said that cytoplasm plus nucleus
correct,
forms the protoplasm.
protoplasm. And it is the aggregation of the various chemicals such as water, salts, ions, proteins, carbohydrates, and fats, all these together. Okay. So then Robert Brown, he discovered the nucleus in the year 1831. After that, we have started with the cell theory. Two scientists, Sheridan and Schwann, they gave the two postulates, means 2 points were given by them. Those points were that cell, all plants and animals, they are made up of cells, and the cell is the basic unit of life. But these points were added on. One more point was added to these 2 points, which was added by Virchow. And he said that all cell comes from the pre-existing cells. Now, organism type, number of cells. Then we have discussed about unicellular and multicellular differences. In the cell number, unicellular single cell, multicellular large number of cells. Then functions, they can perform all the functions with one cell, whereas in the multicellular, they need the different cells to perform the different functions. Then division of labor in the unicellular we can't see, whereas in the multicellular we can see those differences. Reproduction, it will be done with the same single cell, whereas for the multicellular, they have the special germ cells. It means they have the separate sex cells. With the help of them, they will be doing the reproduction. Lifespan for the unicellular, that is short, whereas for the multicellular, it is long. Then example, amoeba, paramecium, bacteria, plants, fungus, and animals. Now today we'll be starting with a new topic, which is the prokaryotic and the eukaryotic organelles. So today's topic is prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells or the organs. Now, as I've already told you, prokaryotic, in this word, the pro means the primitive or the old.
Primitive or old, and karyotic
Whereas
means cell.
karyotic no. Karyotic is a word
Yes,
derived
ma'am.
from the karyon, which
Nucleus.
means nucleus.
Nucleus.
Very good. Which means nucleus. Whereas in the eukaryotic, U means
Mu means advanced and karyon
yeah.
means nucleus.
Very good. So new means advanced or new, whereas the karyon again means the nucleus. So let us see how they are different from each other, in what all ways they are different from each other. So starting here, let me write first of all, eukaryotic cells. On the other hand side, we have the prokaryotic cells and then eukaryotic cells. So the first point, the prokaryotic cells, they are very minute in size. Like example, bacteria. So bacteria, can you see the bacteria? Right? Can you see the bacteria? No. Right? So prokaryotic cells are always very minute in size, whereas the eukaryotic, they will be fairly large in size, as like us. You can see us, right? You can see humans, you can see other animals also very clearly. So eukaryotic cells, they are fairly large in size. The second point, here in the prokaryotic cell, the nuclear region not surrounded by nuclear membrane. What do you mean by nuclear region? Any idea?
The region where nucleus is present.
The region where the nucleus is present. Okay, fine, correct. So the region where is present is the nuclear region. But what happens in the prokaryotes? It looks like actually the nucleus, but they are not the nucleus, they are the nucleoid. Okay, it looks like the nucleus, but basically they are not very much developed or not very much advanced. That is why they do not have nucleus. Instead of nucleus, they have the nucleoid. So they will have this nucleoid. So like this, the dot dot like structure will be present in the center of the cell. So they are called as a nucleoid. Whereas in the eukaryotic, this nuclear or nuclear region, or I can say here, the nucleus is surrounded by what membrane?
Ma'am,
Nuclear
nuclear membrane.
membrane. So suppose this is a cell. Here we have the cell. In the center of the cell, what do we have? We have a nucleus. Okay. Here we have the nucleus. Now surrounding this nucleus, here like this, there will be a kind of layer. This is called as what? The nuclear membrane. Fine. Whereas in them, they will not have the nucleus, but instead of nucleus, they will have small, tiny like particle like structure called as the nucleoid. Whereas in the eukaryotic cells, what do they have? They have the nucleus, and this nucleus is surrounded by the nuclear membrane. Coming to the next point, they are always unicellular. They are always unicellular. It means always the prokaryotic cell are made up of only one cell. Whereas in the eukaryotic, they may be unicellular or they may be multicellular. So eukaryotic cell can have one cell or they can have more than one cell also. Clear, children? Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So always they are unicellular in the prokaryotic case, whereas in the eukaryotic they can be unicellular or they can be multicellular. Whereas in the prokaryotic they will have always single chromosomes present. So they have a single chromosome present. Whereas in the eukaryotic like us, they have more than one chromosome present. Like in us, if I talk about our body, how many chromosomes do we have?
Ma'am, 23 in male and 23 in female.
And wrong.
6.
Oh, yes, ma'am, 6. Right?
How much?
23, right? 23 pairs of chromosome.
Now you have said it correctly, Rohit. 23 pairs of chromosome. When you say only 23, it means wrong, okay? You should
Yes,
always say
ma'am.
23 pairs, which means 46 chromosomes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so in us, in a human body, we have the either 23 pairs of chromosome, we can say, or we can say 46 chromosomes. So in the eukaryotic, there will be more than one chromosome, whereas in the prokaryotic, only single chromosomes will be present.
Ma'am, but why
The
are there
next,
more than one chromosomes in prokaryotic cells?
why? Only one chromosome is needed,
Yes, ma'am.
right? See, what happens is like if they do not have the chromosome, they will not be able to, pass the same characteristics to the next one. That is why with one chromosome, what do? They divide and they pass.
Yes, ma'am.
Like if I talk about the amoeba, what they do? They multiply,
Ma'am,
they
they
divide by
multiply.
their own, their themselves they divide, right? So that one chromosome is sufficient to pass on because they have the characteristics. Suppose here we have the amoeba, right? This amoeba has maybe the chromosomes present here. Now what happens if they do not have the chromosome? They will not be able
Ma'am,
to
they will not
divide.
multiply or divide.
Yes, they will not multiply, they will not divide. At the same time, the other cell organelles also will not be formed in that case if they do not have the chromosome. Since
Yes,
now
ma'am.
they have one chromosome, what happens? They can form the other organelles and they can divide easily.
Yes, ma'am.
And here, the normal way how the cell is working, the cell will be there, the nucleus will be there, more than one chromosomes will be present, and they keep on dividing, and because of which we look like our father or mother, right? If I talk about myself, I'm like similar to my father. If I talk about Rohit, maybe similar to mother. If I talk about Yukta, similar to mother, maybe. So like this, you all have, some of the feature of your mother and father. Why so? Because of the chromosome. Because chromosomes, they keep on passing from the parents to the offspring. All right. Now, in the next difference, here the cell division or cell divides by fission or budding. So they have the two processes. By using either of one process, the cell will divide. So, do you have any idea about this fission and budding? What are they? I think you might be aware of this.
Yes, ma'am.
Fission and budding.
Yeah, just tell me
What are
inside
those?
Ma'am,
Hmm?
Hydra, right?
Yeah, Hydra. Hydra, which kind of division they will be doing?
budding.
Correct,
Bunny.
Sampath. Budding. Right, right, right. Uh, fission and budding, I'll just tell you a few points about it. In the case of the eukaryotic, they divide by the either the mitosis or by the meiosis. These two words you might be hearing maybe in this year only, right? Or are you aware of these words, mitosis and meiosis?
Ma'am,
Yeah, tell me.
ma'am, can we write asexual reproduction in prokaryotic?
Yes, you can do that. You can write asexual also. But the what happened in the asexual category, we have so many other category also. Like the spore formation we have, then we have the regeneration. So these regeneration spore formation does not come under the category of this. That is why we cannot write it as a asexual reproduction.
Ma'am, actually, I have got taught about spore formation in amoeba.
You have.
Ma'am, I think spore or cyst, something I don't know.
Yeah. That is actually the multiple fission. Cyst is basically regarding your plasmodium in the your multiple fission plasmodium. Have you ever heard the word plasmodium? So plasmodium, what do they have? They have the outer covering, outer wall is made up of the cyst. And when that cyst breaks down, the individual or the nucleus which is present inside comes out and then they multiply. So that is how they work. And spore formation is in the bread. You might have seen the breads, right? So one bread gets spoiled. Later on, the other breads also get spoiled. It is because of the spores which are formed on the surface of that bread. So these kind of things does not happen under the category of the prokaryotes. That is why we are not including them. And bread mold, basically fungus, which is not the unicellular. Okay, I think Harshit, you asked me about this doubt, right?
Yeah, ma'am.
So, fungus, when we talk about, why don't we include? Because spore formation of the rhizopus, what they are multicellular. So, we cannot include that in this category. Clear? If I talk about lizard, like regeneration in planaria is not unicellular. Okay, so that is the reason we cannot say it as asexual reproduction. Okay, so let us go for the next one now. Yeah. So have you ever, any one of you have heard this word mitosis and meiosis earlier?
No, ma'am.
No. Okay. So this mitosis and meiosis we will be learning in a detailed manner in the upcoming classes, and it is very, very, very important, children. I'll just tell you actually these four words, small lines. I'll tell you about these them. Four words means fission, budding, mitosis, and meiosis. These four words, let me explain you in a very short way so that you should be clear what they are. So when we talk about the fission, fission means division. Okay. Fission means dividing or division. So what happens, as in the case of the amoeba, they divide, right, their body. Suppose this is the amoeba. What do? They divide like this, right? And with one organism, earlier one organism are there, one amoeba was there. So from this amoeba, because of the division, how many amoeba we got now? We got two. Correct? We got two amoebas here. So that is what the fission. Fission means dividing. So here they will be the organisms, they will be dividing themselves and then they increases the number. So this is what the fission is. Now coming to the budding. In the case of the budding, either you can take the example of the yeast or you can take the example of the hydra. So either yeast or either hydra. Now, if talking about the yeast, the structure will be like oval-like structure, and they have the nucleus in the center. Like this, they will be. Now, what do? On the body of the yeast? They will start forming a bud like this. Okay, they will form a structure which is called a bud, and slowly and gradually the nucleus which is present inside, what happened to that nucleus? It start contracting. Okay, the nucleus which is present inside, it start contracting, and because of which, where this nucleus will go, half of the nucleus will go into the
Other side.
bird cell. Okay, it will go into the other, which is the bird cell. So like this, because of the continuation, because of the continue expansion of it, because of the continue contraction of it, the nucleus will divide into two. The one part of it will be in the parent cell and the other goes into the bird cell. So like this, the two nucleus will be there. Now what happened? As soon as this yeast, when they get the favorable condition, when they get the favorable kind of nutrients or temperature in the water, what do? They get separated from the parent organism. Fine. Now here, this is the parent, and here we got the daughter yeast cell. So now this daughter yeast cell, what do? They will be taking all the nutrients and then they keep on growing in the size like this. And once they grow, once they become mature, now this daughter cell will be acting as like the which cell?
Ma'am, can you repeat the question?
I asked you, like, we had the parent cell. From the parent cell, the daughter cell divided and got detached, right? Once the daughter cell got detached, they start increasing in the size, shape by eating, by getting the nutrients. And once the daughter cells got mature, now this daughter cells will be acting as like whom? Will be acting like a parent cell, right? So now they become parent. Now this daughter cell who has got all the nutrients, who has become mature, what do? They will also form the bud now. Okay. Now here this parent cell is also forming the bud, and this daughter cell is also forming the bud. So like this, they will be doing the process. They will form a bud, the nucleus will divide into two, then the daughter cells will be getting separated from the parent cell, and once the daughter cells become mature, they will start acting like a they will start acting like a parent, and then they start dividing. It is like us, in us also happening, right? In humans also. If I talk about us, when I was small, I will be eating food. We all will be eating, growing, studies, going to the college, job we are doing, right? And ultimately, what we need to do, we have to get married, right? So that marriage will be happening. So then again, I will be giving birth to the kids. So those kids also will be doing the same process of eating, getting nutrients, getting job, college, all those things, and getting married. Same way, these E's also, they will form the bud. The nucleus will divide. Half of the nucleus will be in the bud, half will be inside them, and then when the bud get all the types of the nutrients, they get segregated from the parent cell. Okay, and then they start growing. And once they start growing, now they are the parent cell and they work on independently, right? So when you grow, when you get married, what happen? You work independently. You are independent. You can do whatever you want to do. But when you are small, you have to ask permission, right, for it. Same way, yeast, when they are daughter, they will be getting the nutrients from other sources, and once they get all the nutrients, then they start working as a parent. So that is what the budding is. Am I clear, children?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, okay, now next topic, now we have the mitosis and meiosis. Okay, mitosis is basically, and meiosis. So mitosis is basically known as, oh, sorry. Mitosis basically is known as the equational division. Equational division. What do you mean by equal? What do you mean by equal?
Ma'am, equal parts.
Okay, fine. And what do you mean by reduction?
Ma'am,
What is
reduce.
reduction? Very good. Okay. So equal means whatever the numbers are there, they remain same. No changes. Whereas reduction means they will be converted into half. So mitosis is basically a process in which whatever the number of chromosomes are present, whatever the number of chromosomes are present, what do? They divide and convert themselves into the same number. For example, now, if anyone has 24 chromosomes, so after the division, after the mitosis division, what the two numbers we will be getting?
12 and 12.
No, same number. I said the number of chromosome will remain
24 and
same.
24.
24 and 24. So
Yes.
mitosis is a division where the number of chromosomes remains the same.
Ma'am, but in
Though they are
meiosis, it will be 12 and 12, right?
correct. Whereas in this meiosis category, the chromosomes number reduce to half. So they will reduce to half. For example, if 24 chromosomes are there, so during the meiosis process, they will get converted into how many?
12 and 12.
12 and 12.
12 and 12. So that is how these two processes work. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, what happens actually? See, if the number of the chromosome have to be same, then why do we need it? So we need this thing so as to mix the characteristics of the mother and the father, right? So we know mother is there, father is there. Both of them should give you the characteristics, right? For that reason, the mitosis should happen because they have to give the characteristics. So in detail, we will be learning about this in the upcoming classes. So now at least you have the basic idea. In the mitosis case, the numbers will remain the same, whereas in the meiosis case, the number will reduce to the half. Clear? So that was a point related to the cell division. Shall we go to the next one now? Next point. Now in the next difference of the prokaryotes and the eukaryotes, here in the eukaryotes, membrane bound cell organelles are absent. So they do not have the cell organelles who have the membrane, like the plastids. So what do they need? If they need the plastids, they don't have. Fine. Then the DNA. Then the mitochondria. So mitochondria also has the membrane. So any kind of the structure which requires a membrane, they do not have it. So membrane bound structures are absent in them, whereas in the eukaryotes, they are present. So membrane bound cell organelles are present. So they have those cell organelles. So they have the mitochondria, they have the nucleus, the membrane. So everything they have, whatever the membrane requirement is. And the last thing, the example are the fine. So am I clear with the differences between eukaryotics and prokaryotics? I'll revise it again. So talking about the differences, prokaryotic, they are very minute in size, whereas eukaryotic, they are fairly large in size. Prokaryotic nuclear region is not surrounded by the membrane, whereas in the eukaryotic nuclear region is surrounded by the membrane. And the nucleus basically is called as nucleoid in the prokaryotes, and in the eukaryotic, it is known as a nucleus only. Then prokaryotics, they are always unicellular, whereas in the eukaryotic, they can be unicellular or they can be multicellular. Then in prokaryotic, they have the single chromosome present, whereas in the eukaryotic, they have more than one chromosome present. Then in the prokaryotic, cell division occurs by the fission or budding, whereas in the eukaryotic, it occurs by the mitosis and meiosis. Then the membrane-bound cells are absent in the prokaryotic cells, whereas the membrane-bound cells are present in the eukaryotic cells. Example, bacteria. Example, all plants and animals. Clear, children? Any doubt? Any one of you have? Rohit, Yukta, Jitendra, Pranav, Sampath,
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Harshit? No?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
So I'll share the screen. Just note down all the points. I'll share the screen again. Start writing now. Okay, so from here you can start writing. Once this page is done, let me know. Done, children, with this page?
Ma'am, in prokaryotic, the nuclear region is not bounded by the cell organelle, right?
Correct. They don't have any kind of the membrane-bound cell organelle.
Okay.
I'm done.
Okay, next page.
Ma'am, I'm done noting all the points down of the differences.
All the
Ma'am,
points you have noted down?
Yes, ma'am.
Everyone has done it, children, apart from Rohit.
ma'am, can you move for next?
Next means the number of slides. Tell me the number of the slide.
Number 7.
7. Okay.
Oh, ma'am, 8.
Hmm.
Ma'am, 1 second. I will note it.
Okay, okay. Note it down.
Ma'am, can you once explain that first point?
Which for this on this slide, the first point?
This slide, first point.
Okay, okay. Here the membrane bound cell organelles. It means the organelles who has the membrane, like the mitochondria. So if I talk about the mitochondria, they have the membrane around them. Such kind of organelles who have the membrane, they do not have them. Okay. Whereas in the eukaryotic cells, if any organelles they have the membrane, they are present in them. So anything else, children, you want to ask? Okay. So Children, for this, look, today you have the test, right? So it has the test of chemistry and physics only. So shall I give you my test for the next week? Only bio?
Yes, ma'am.
Rohit, Harshit,
Yes,
Yukta?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Fine. So whatever we have done, the eukaryotic, the prokaryotic, whatever we did,
Yes.
if not this week, maybe then next week for the objective test. Okay. So might be we will have the class next week or not. Be ready. Okay. I'll pose a portion. So might be with subjective I'll give, or might be with the objective I'll give my portions only. Okay. But today you have the physics and chemistry both. Next week it might be chemistry and bio, or it might be bio only.
Ma'am,
Okay,
actually,
ma'am.
we do not have any physics class this week.
You do not had any physics class.
Yes,
No,
ma'am.
ma'am.
But might be the portion is the old portion, so you can just take it out, okay, in the paper.
Ma'am.
Okay, okay, children. Then we meet you in the upcoming classes then. Okay,
Thank you, ma'am. Bye, ma'am.
Ma'am,
thank you, thank you. Yeah, tell me.
ma'am, can you hear me?
Yeah, tell me.
Ma'am, actually, from that much time, actually, there was some problem in my house. So the screen which was glitching, I was not able to see the points clearly. Nor when I was trying to unmute myself, I was not able to. Can I just have the PDF ones which you wrote, because I was not able to see that clearly. And if I wanted to speak up and I wanted to ask, it was not letting me to.
No, no problem. I'll do one thing. I'll just immediately I'll make the PDF and share with you personally, as well as I'll upload on the resources. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Welcome. Welcome, Yusuf. Welcome. Bye bye.
Thank you, ma'am.